Hello YouTube, it's Paul again. Just posted the unboxing video of the Gremlin from Big Stick Archery. Today I wanted to go over a little bit about how I set up the bow. So as you know, in the unboxing, if I didn't, I think I mentioned it, but if I didn't or you missed it, the bow is 56 inches. It is 50 at 28. So that means at a 28-inch draw, you're going to be at a 50-pound bow. Well, me and my short arms are not 28 inches. I'm lucky to get 26 and a half, maybe 26 and 3/4, maybe. However it is, I'm at 44 pounds on this bow. So it's lending more to like a 26-inch draw for me. And 44 pounds is roughly 4 pounds more, 3 to 4 pounds more than I was shooting on the last bow. So I just wanted to go over a little bit about how I set this up and the tools you may need to do that for the new guys. I know the old guys, this is going to be just kind of information you already know, regurgitated stuff, but for the new guys, it should be helpful. So you're going to need a T-square, one. If you don't have it, you'll have felt material, the fuzzy side of felt material, and you're going to need some type of string nocks, all right, and a string, of course. So on this bow, the recommended brace height, Bob told me to start at 8 inches and tune from there. So to get an 8-inch brace height, what do? We take our T-square and we click it on the string, right? So then we're going to want to take it, if I can do this without looking into the camera, we're going to move it down until it just sits on the felt, and we can still move it in and out a little bit as if that's the bottom of the shaft. And then when we look, the center of my nocks is 5/8 right there. So I've got my nocking point 5/8 above center. That's how you check your nock height. Okay, how you're going to check brace height is you take the same tool, your bow square, and we're going to put it in the throat of the handle. Okay, a lot of people measure it on the string just like I had it for nock height. You can, but you're going to have to add length to it because that's not really the correct spot. So how you want to do it is you want to take the bow square, touch it to the throat, and then to the string. So my string, I've got it at an 8-inch brace height from the throat of the grip to the string. So 5/8 above center for the, wow, limb just fell out of the tree. So 5/8 above center for the nock height and 8 inches overall for the brace height. So Bob already had this on here from the bowyer, but I would have done the same thing. So I always use, for off the shelf, I use the fuzzy side of Velcro for the strike plate and for the shelf. It's just readily available, it's cheap, and it lasts forever if your bow's tuned right. So you see a bunch of these posts that come up on traditional pages asking, why is my shelf getting eat up, or why is my side plate getting eat up with an arrow? It's because the bow's not tuned, and they're putting excessive downforce with the shaft onto the shelf, so it's tearing up the felt material or whatever they have for the material, and likewise it being stiff and weak on the arrows on the side plate, it's really pushing into the side plate when they're stiff, and it's tearing up that material. So when you get your bow tuned correctly, that shelf and side plate material should last for pretty much ever. I mean, I've shot probably, I don't know, a couple hundred arrows off this so far, and there's not even hardly a mark on the shelf and the side plate material. Pretty much looks brand new. So that's the essential setup of how I set the bow up. Now, the quiver I'm running is a gun shy. So coming from the bare bow world, I'm used to anywhere from a 6 to a 7 pound bow. That's both hunting and for 3D, right? So I knew going into this big stick that it was going to be substantially lighter, right? So what I did was I decided to go with a quiver that had a little bit of mass to it. Now, I just weighed my WF, which is what I was using previously, and it was like 6.5 pounds for a hunting bow. So it was a WF-21 Hoyex Tor limbs with a tight spot quiver, 5 arrow quiver. The arrows I were using was only 495 grains total, and it was about a 6.5 pound bow, roughly. Uh, I measured or weighed this one the other day with quiver and 550 grain arrows, and I'm at 2.28 or 2.48 pounds. It's way under half of what it was for the WF. So that is in itself going to be something to get majorly used to when it comes to how the bow shoots, how the bow reacts after the shot. So that can play into your tuning too, because it's not going to have the forgiveness as a heavier mass weight bow is going to. Plus, it's a longbow, and we all know longbows, by all right, with my experience, people's going to say I'm stupid or they're not going to agree, but that's okay. My experience is longbows are not as forgiving as recurves. You can get away with a lot with a recurve, which is something I'll go over here in just a minute. So I'll put this gunshot quiver on there. It's got an aluminum or steel or whatever they use. I'm pretty sure it's aluminum. I-beam to connect the hood and the grippers, as well as on the limb attachments. It also has the same metal brackets, so you can move this quiver up or down or in or out depending on how you need that weight to be distributed on the bow. I just kind of threw it on there. I've got it set one way. I haven't tried to really mess with anything else. Like when I have a bow straight up and down, I kind of like the quiver to look like it's pointing straight at the ground, or just a little bit of a kickback to the bottom of it, so my arrows are in line with my limbs basically, and not way out here up front, so they don't get in the way during like a hunt scenario type of thing. So that's how I got the quiver set up. You always want to, all right, got cut off, but what I was saying was I do have them arrows kicked forward a little bit or back a little bit so they don't interfere in like a hunt scenario. So that's how I set the quiver up. Now you want to make sure that when you mount these quivers that you are inside. You see that right there? That is the end of the limb fade. You want to make sure that you are inside those limb fades on both sides. This bottom one runs out just a little even with the limb fade. This top one's inside the limb fade. That's where you want to keep your quivers so you're not messing with any of the performance of the limbs. So if you have something out here, anything past the limb fades, you're decreasing the performance, you're decreasing the speed, whether it's substantially or whether it's minutely, you're still affecting the speed of the bow for anything you have outside, be it limb dampeners, whether it be those brush bushes, anything like that you have past that limb fade, you're going to slow that bow down. Which, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's not helping anything as far as getting your max, speed out of the bow. Not that that's super important, but to some people it is. So that's how I have the bow set up right now. Brace height, 8 inches. Nock height, 5/8 above center. Gunshot quiver for a little bit of mass weight. It kind of helps me coming over from barebow to not be as so drastically different, going from a 6-pound, 6.5-pound bow to a not even a 2.5-pound bow, which is still pretty big, but any other quiver would have been substantially lighter and would have been, I might have been like at a 2-pound or under bow. So it helps a little bit. I've got the Triple T string on here, of course, and running 2 of these cat whiskers. They're about the size of a quarter. They're really not much bigger, and that's about all you need. So I'm going to shoot one shot here on camera, let you hear how loud the bow is, and yeah, give you a one-shot teaser, because I got to do some video editing because I'm about to run out of time. I'm super close. I'm only like 10 yards from this target, but it's just where I am. All right. have one shot fired so you can kind of hear the sound. 111 ring on a buck at 10 yards, whoop-de-doo. And I'm gonna get in here and edit this video. That was the segment for the setup of the bow. We did the unboxing. That is the setup for the bow, how I run it with brace height, with nock height, and what I run for shelf material quiver. And there was something I said I was gonna go back and revisit, but I forgot. So I'll put it in the next one. Y'all shoot straight. God bless.